And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the evening. We just wrapped up with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and now we're here. We are back with the Anonymous Cup, day number 2. Welcome to a very special event where we are here to try to find out who are these players and piece together who they're up against as well. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right corner of Odyssey, we have the blue Zerg player, a fresh player, by the way. The name isn't Cyrillic, it is Accent. That's what I got for you. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the green Protoss player. It is MementoMori. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this initial series. It's hard to predict as we don't really know who they are. And I should also reiterate that if you weren't here yesterday, I recommend the VOD. I recommend the VOD for day 1 of the Anonymous Cup, as we're here with day number 2 with 10 best of ones. 10 best of ones. We have a fresh set of players. Now, as a reminder, these are different players from yesterday. So for example, yesterday, if you predicted that there was a player like Spirit, or a player like Showtime, or a player like Lambo, well, they wouldn't be here then, because we have a new ID. A new ID means a new player, a different player than yesterday's broadcast. So bear that in mind. With who you think played yesterday, they won't be playing today. They won't be playing, as there won't be any repeats here. We have a fresh set of players instead, and we're opening up with a cannon rush. Oh my god. That's it. Now, we have a cannon rush out of Memento, and we are cannoning here on the low ground. This is not Gref. Boanan? Like, if Gref was playing yesterday, would this be Boanan? Who else is willing to cannon rush like this? It's hard to say, but you can rule out some people. You'd be like, Showtime doesn't cannon rush, like Shameless doesn't cannon rush. You can name out Carol doesn't cannon rush, Cristiano doesn't cannon rush either. So you can kind of like cross out and kind of try to remove some of these players. Regardless, oh my god, the pylons are being thrown down once again. The cannon will complete here behind the mineral line, and this may be over before it really began. We do have a spine cooler response here on the low ground from our Zerg. First spine cooler is on the way. The cannon will complete, and these pylons are safe. Oh no, let's go. Let us go here. I think the name is Deception. Okay. There we go. So now we have some spine coolers on the way to help defend. We are trying to move out with some lings, but alas, back at home, we have a full wall ready. Adeptus is on the way. Remember, this was a macro opener. We are looking to expand behind this and claim an expansion, claim a base. Hatchery's under fire. Taking a lot of hits already now, going for the spine crawler. Oh my god. Taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Spine crawler trying to find a better angle, but it's going to be denied. Yeah, the spine crawler is a non-factor here. We have another spine coming in. Once again, going to be focused down. Queen will soak some hits, will tank some damage. And the spine will eventually borrow Clutch Transfuse. Okay, honestly, nice handling of the situation here from a Zerg player. Nice handling. As Lings, they try to break through. Oh, the cannon goes down. Can we save the base? Can we save the expansion? Oh god, as the queen goes down. Adept shades into the main base, gets one drone. Takes down one. Not quite another. Hatchery goes down. In the end, we committed so hard here, but for what? For nothing, as the base still crumbles. And Memento expands. Is it Memento or is it Memento? Like, what's is he a meme or not? I think he's a bit of a meme so far. But again, this is a macro cannon rush. Like, this wasn't to go for an all-in. The goal, the purpose was to kill the natural. And he didn't just kill the natural, he also killed a spine crawler. He also forced his opponent to overreact, or I should say to overcommit to a defense that did not pay off in the end. Did not pay off. As from here is going to be forced back. Do have our double Stargate follow-up. This is crazy. Now, when it comes to cannon rushers, Bonan wouldn't do this. Like, Bonan, he would commit. He wouldn't just go for a macro cannon like this. Is this Mitchneck? I know that people, they were floating the idea of Mitchneck earlier, but I'll be honest, I haven't casted enough of Mitchneck, so I wouldn't know. So now we are just building up. The Overlord does confirm. We have the Oracle opener. Are we going to Mass Oracle? No shot. Yeah, so we go. Mass Oracle is building up from our Protoss. We're clowning, Papi. We're clowning. This is just so strange, but not strange. Like, Strange wouldn't do this. Strange the player, I mean. Like, I'm trying to piece it together as well. This is where we... not Protosaver. Protosaver is a Terran player. Who am I thinking of? Sickness? No, Sickness wouldn't do this. Right now, my money's on Mitchneck. You know who would actually? Night Phoenix. He would. But even then, like Night Phoenix, he likes to have fun. Maybe. Those are the players that I'm leaning towards for this game. Obviously not Gref, because we already casted Gref yesterday. Gref is going under Lady Gaga as a different ID. And Boanan wouldn't transition like this. As we have a charge follows some Mass Oracle into charge. The backup Natural's under fire. From the side of the Zerg player, it's hard to say who this is as well. I mean, there are limited Zergs, true. It depends who you believe played yesterday, right? Like, we featured 2 Zerg players yesterday. So, out of the potential players of, like, YoungYakov, Wayne, GG Machine, Nikic, right? There's only a handful of Zerg players that it could be. Especially with Cyrillic as her name. You can already rule a couple of them out, the ones that you believe played yesterday, right? We already had 2 Zerg players yesterday. And of who's left over, I mean, that's who you would kind of go for here. Meanwhile, we have a Mew to follow up. Okay, I mean, Mews, they can do well for themselves. It's charge alongside Oracles. Not much shoots up. We have a couple of Archons. UED Soldier? Maybe? I don't know enough about UED Soldier. I don't cast enough of UED Soldier. Like, the games that I've casted of UED Soldier, I don't think I've seen him cannon rush before. But maybe. If is he that kind of player? Maybe. That's an option. Is an option. I'd have to take a pro player's word on that one when it comes to, like, players' tendencies, because I'm limited with how many games I've covered, right, and how many games I've casted. Meanwhile, Muse, they do hit the natural. Probe's going to be going down. Remember, there's limited anti. There's 1 Stalker to defend, and Memento committed to the all-in. 8, 9 probes going to be going down. Brutal damage already. Phoenix production has begun, and here we go. Memento pushes forward, does go in. Behind this, we have a wall of roaches. We have a wall of queens as well. Making a stand. Taking down one of those queens. 1 queen goes down. Ooh, the oracles are falling. And so far, our Zerg player, he's holding. He's holding. He's defending. He's surviving. Let's go. He's holding on, baby. More chargeless warping in. Oh, queens, they get caught out. Yeah, brutal pickoffs. Queens are falling. Mutas across the map, they are being dealt with. Phoenixes are racing on over to help defend. Mutas, they collapse on top of the Archons. Ooh, they're getting caught out. Oh my god, almost every single Muta does fall. But the roaches, there are enough roaches here, barely enough. It was a messy defense. But the Zerg does hold on across the map. The economy was crippled. 36 probes left. Roaches move out. Roaches do move out. Phoenixes, they will punish. With that, I mean, our green Protoss player here is going to be able to hold on a little bit longer, but economically they're in trouble. They have to expand. They break out. But you were one of the Terran players yesterday. I think a lot of people did settle on BabyMarine for one of the Terrans. That is true. That is true. A lot of people that assumed BabyMarine was one of the 2 Terrans. I'm okay saying this. For me, yesterday it was BabyMarine and Spirit. Those are my 2 picks for the Terrans from last night. But you know, hard to say with any real certainty. As corrupted production has begun. Oh. But yes, exclamation mark guess in the chat if you guys want to guess. I should also have a look here because the Google form also states how many non-CIS players there are. This is also why trying to say something like Boanan, for example, is really difficult to commit to because there's a higher chance it's a CIS player, not a Greater Europe player. So quickly checking here for today's broadcast, it's 8 CIS players and 2 Europeans. So depending on who you believe the predictions and the players are going to be, if you want to say, you know, this Protoss player is Boanan, then that's 1 European slot that you're kind of wasting, that you're burning there in a sense, right? Because there's only 2 possible Europeans that are playing tonight. And depending on, because of who we expect played last night, it's like I'm expecting players like Cristiano, potentially. Cristiano. Maybe Jumi's playing in Wardy's tournament today, so probably not Jumi. Maybe Bonan's one of them. Maybe. But like, again, there are limitations there. So you want to be careful if you do predict someone not from the CIS region. So now, Zalse do poke in. They get into the mineral line. 7 drone kills here. The natural, not bad. Likewise, Ravager's getting caught out as well. But the Corruptors will punish. And for the most part, it's only the Phoenixes here that are threatening the Zerg. Memento is running out of steam. So Blue Zerg is cleaning up all of these Phoenixes. Likewise, running up on 3 bases, saturating, getting into Lingbane Roach Ravager as an army composition. Does break out. From the side of our Zerg player here, I don't think I've seen enough to like fully set on anything, just because they had to respond and react to an all-in or to a cannon rush. But if they win this game, then we get more information, right? That's what's important as well, is that sometimes you don't want to be too trigger happy with your prediction, bearing in mind that if you predict one player, then it's locked in. Like once you predict for that player, it's locked in. You cannot change your mind later. You cannot try to adjust your prediction or try to go back in and change it. You're one and done. It is one and done. So I always suggest that you want to try to get as much information from the players as possible before you commit to a prediction. But that's just my suggestion. If you want to just send it, just go for it. Like, if you feel confident, then go for it. Go for that prediction. Meanwhile, Corruptors, they do go for the Nexus. Can it be a 5k player or lower? Technically it could, but I mean, based on the caliber of play that we've seen in the tournament so far, I don't think anyone has been not like at least a semi-pro. Like all the games have been quite competitive with each other. It does feel like everyone that's played in the Anonymous Cup is relatively close in skill. So you can be like, oh, maybe there's like a 4k player in there, but I mean, that also says something about their opponent, right? Like they're all, so far it seems like relatively close to skill. I would assume that whoever is playing in this tournament has probably played in like 5 World Cups before and has a Wikipedia page. But I wouldn't rule out players like Sickness, right? Like I don't know if like Sickness is like 5.5k or something. Oh, as Bailey's they crash into the mineral line, or like Protozaver or Zardians, right? It's like But I would assume everyone is GM, right? Whatever that happens to be. But GG gets called with that. Again, the cannon rush initially was relatively successful, but gets completely shut down in the follow-up, and our Zerg player will take the first win. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was an explosive start to the King of the Hill, but we have our current king. It is going to be apparently Deception, translated as Deception here. Does claim the first win, is our first King of the Hill. GG, well played. MementoMori does attempt a cannon rush and was relatively successful initially, but went for a follow-up charge Oracle all-in, which did fall on its face. The Queen Roach was able to defend against the all-in, shut it down, and snowball into a win from there. And again, you know, as to who you think Memento is going to be, that's up to you to decide. Bearing in mind that there is no revives, so Memento, he's now out of the tournament, and it's up to you to guess who that was. I have my ideas of who it is, but best of luck with your own predictions as well. I do think there are certain possibilities. You can rule out players that you think will never cannon rush, right? So you can already kind of deduce there. Certain players like Geralt, like Christianer, like a lot of the Polish players, like the Polish Protosses, like they aren't really one to cannon rush. At least most of them aren't really known for that sort of thing, but there are others that are known to be a little bit more cheeky, a little bit more aggressive, whether it's Michnek, whether it's Night Phoenix, whether it's UD Soldier was floated around as well. Possible, is possible, for sure. Or even Boanan, I suppose. I'm not too convinced that it's going to be Boanan, just based on how the cannon rush unfolded. Boanan is usually more committed with his cannon rush, and usually a little bit more stylistic with it, but that's my opinion from what I've seen. It could still be him. If you want to look that in, you can go for it. You can go for it. Otherwise, with that, we have Deception winning the first game and is going to be staying on for another round. That was match 11. And now we're getting into match 12. And again, the reason why I suggest reserving your judgment on who Deception is, who the Zerg player is because we're about to get more information, because they're staying on for another game. So now you have more chances to kind of, in your mind, kind of formulate who this person might be. So I always suggest holding off a little bit, holding off on your predictions. At least for the player that's still in the tournament. Here we go. As we have our next opponent, it's going to be ZVZ? Question mark. What is the plan here? Who is up next? As we do have a reference I'm not familiar with, fivstafamily. It's going to be a ZVZ. Ooh, a Zerg versus Zerg here. Okay, interesting. Oh, is this meant to be 5-star family? Yo, family. We're going full dom. Let's go. But here we go, we have a ZVZ. Interesting. Again, there aren't many Zerg players to pick from. This is the advantage of, I say the advantage, this is your advantage in the chat. If there's ever a Zerg or Terran player, it's a little bit easier to predict because there are so few of them, right? Compared to Protoss. You know this, especially in the European region, there are so many Protoss players. There's so many Protosses out there. Meanwhile, going to be committing a little bit here, but there's so many Protoss players out there, it can be a little bit more difficult to determine who a Protoss is. When it comes to Zerg and Terran, the player pool is much smaller, much smaller, so a little bit easier to determine. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the new challenger, we have the blue Zerg player. It is 5-star-family, or fivstafamily. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the current King of the Hill, the red Zerg player with a Cyrillic name, apparently translating to Deception. Here we go. Now remember, we already featured 2 Zerg players yesterday, and depending on who you believe those 2 Zerg players were, they're not going to be here, right? They already played, they're already out of the tournaments, they wouldn't be here. So depending on who you think played last night, you can already rule them out. Whether you believed Wayne played yesterday, or YoungYakov, or GG Machine, or Nikic, or Mixu, or Fiant, right? Depending on who you believe played yesterday of those two Zerg players, then you can already rule them out, and then, you know, you can kind of narrow down who these two Zerg players are instead. As so far, we're going to be opening up. So far, relatively standard openers. Nothing too crazy. So we are settling in. And we're waiting to see our first big deviation. We're waiting to see. So now we are setting up. So far, is the family going to be joining up at the natural? Again, Deception, he was able to defend quite well last game, able to shut it down, or I say shut it down, able to recover, able to be ready for the counterattack, able to be ready for that all-in. Snowball from there. But so far, no major aggression yet. Now, I will say, because I do want to help you out a little bit, when it comes to some of the CIS players, when it comes to how aggressive they can be, Wayne and YoungYakov, when they play against each other, we see a lot of 13-12s, a lot of 12 pulls, a lot of hyper aggression. Very rarely do we get Roach versus Roach, so I'm waiting to see one of our players be more aggressive, be more assertive. I will say that GG Machine, for example, is typically more standard, typically willing to go into Hatch Gas Pool, third base into a Bailey Nest, into Ling Bane, followed by Roach Ravager. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? Evo Chamber, no Bailey Nest. This is much more unorthodox. So playing 2-base. So 2-base Roach from our red Zerg player, standard play from our blue Zerg. Interesting. Oh, and I say 2-base Roach, it is going to be a fake out here. It looks like 2-base Roach, but we have plus 1 melee on the way. This tells us it is going to be, in fact, a 2-base Muta. Gases are being taken, Lair is on the way. 2-base Muta out of our red Zerg player. And then our blue Zerg it's on them to try to figure out what's going on, to scout, to recognize, and to respond. For the time being, they're in the dark. For the time being, no scout into the main. Still droning, safety bailing back at home, just the one bailing. So very efficient here from our blue Zerg player. When it comes to their play, it is very standard, very normal, very efficient. Plus on Carapace tells us that this looks like Ling Roach into a Ling Ravager all-in. This is the solo build, if I'm not mistaken. Rushing into Carapace is an upgrade that applies to both Lings and Ravagers as well, of course. So this does look quite committed here from our blue Zerg. I say that, I feel like usually you do throw down the Carapace earlier. Meanwhile, the scout is denied, Overlord speed is revealed. You can see here that Deception, he is mining through the right-hand side, and the Spire is on the way in the main. And where's the scout, by the way? Ooh, this is a late lair. Late scout out of the blue Zerg. Ay. It will delay the expansion. Was on hold position there. Nice move. This tournament already has more Zerg players than the total of the other tournaments in the entire month. Oh no. Possibly true. 4 Zergs. Four unique Zerg players in this tournament so far. Meanwhile, Lings, they do threaten a dive, they do force a cancel. They deny the expansion, but here come the Mutas. And honestly, again, there was never a scout into the main. Doing a great job so far, delaying and denying. But with the defenses back at home, we have how many queens? 3. 3 queens to defend. That's all the anti-air. Mutas are coming. And 5-star family is going to be caught completely off guard. The pants are down. The pants are down, but the pants are down. Because of this style, and especially after that last game, I'm leaning more towards like a Yakov or a Wayne. currently here for our red Zerg player, as they are more willing to be cheeky, but again, we'll see. And a couple of drones. Mutas are revealed. The queens do all respond. A nice response so far here by our blue Zerg. Behind this, hydrogen on the way. Spores are being thrown down. And the 5-star family does commit. Does commit across the map. We'll see what he can get done. Queen is exposed. And we're going for the mineral lines here. Baileys don't quite connect. Lings, they do go for the base, and the base is going to be denied once again for a third time. That's a cancel. Oh no! Oh, passive connections. The Lings are shut down. Roaches are cleaned up, and Deception does defend, does survive, does hold. Does hold on. Catching up more mutants, gaining map control, but is still stuck on 2 bases. 5-star family still has the greater economy on a 3-base setup. Still better economy, nice spore positions, of course, getting to the infestation pit. Working up towards Hydrotech, towards Hive-Tech as well, potentially Infestors. This is the older map. It is. Near Humanity is from like 2022, maybe 2021. I mean, if you weren't here for game one was on Odyssey, and that's from like 2019 or like 2018. Odyssey was from even longer ago. We're featuring unique maps for this tournament, having more fun. Yesterday we were live with the Turtle Empire. Yesterday we were live with the Turtle. As nice Fungal does connect. Oh my god. Catching at the mutas. As more Fungals, more Infestors are building up. Mutas, they've yet to deal any critical economic damage. They've caught out Roaches, that's true, but so far, no economy here. Things towards the right-hand side. They do threaten a dive. Catching out some drones. 7 drones going down. Finally, some damage. Nice moves here from Deception. Susan asking, are players allowed to off-race? Technically they are, but I don't see any player ever. I would not expect any player to ever off-race unless we're referring to I don't know, casting like Eba. Like Eba, for example, he might play Zerg. Kappa. So sure. So you might see like Eba playing Zerg, or like maybe if Clem played, maybe he might play Terran, right? He might off race as well. But outside of that, like I wouldn't really I would not like expect like a wild card like that at all. I feel like that'd be a little bit unfair because people are going. I mean, I think it's safe to assume that everyone's main racing. Otherwise, like you would almost never predict. Likewise, I feel like most players off race is not necessarily on level and on par with the other competitors to risk that sort of thing if they want to win games. Spades, they crash in. Good reaction here from our blue Zerg. Does pull away, but that's still going to be 7 drone kills. 7 workers going down. Here we go. We have the Roach Hydra moving up, but that's not a lot of Hydras. Uh-oh. Not a lot of Hydras here. Nice Fungal. Fungal does connect. Lingbane coming in from behind. At least attempting to. Nice Fungal, the Bailings. Bailings are being shut down. Lings are collapsed on the Hydras, and there aren't enough Hydras here. Yeah, not enough Hydras. The Mutas, they can take the fight. It will overwhelm. Every Hydra's going down. And with that, Deception will clean up. Cleans up the Hydras, the Roaches, the Infestors as well. Yeah, so far, Blue Zerg is still just being contained. Still being contained. Muse rotate back over. There's a player that I'm very unfamiliar with, Mini Zerg. Like, Mini Zerg is maybe another possibility when it comes to a competitor tonight. But I have not. I don't think I've ever casted. Maybe I've casted Mini Zerg once. Maybe once. But I'm very unfamiliar with their play. You know, Mutas into the third. They catch at the base. The base goes down. Hydras, they just cannot keep up. And initially, Deception had a hard time expanding, but now it is 5stafamily who just can't keep up with the Mutas. Nice fungal. Oh my god, the fungals! The chain fungals! The Mutas are going down. A massive plumbing in supply here. He plummets in supply. 5stafamily popping up, but here come the Mailings. We come in first round. Shuts down half of the Hydras. Boys are being pulled. The base is still full. And again, that was a very nice catch. That was how many Mutas going down? 19 Muta kills. Vipers are on the way. They're gathering energy. Roach counterattack at the same time. But look at the drone count. That's the problem here. Deception, he's on 71 drones. He can sustain these losses. He can lose all these Mutas and do it again. Can't do it again here. He's once again moving out. Behind this 5stafamily, despite that amazing fight, despite catching 19 Mutas, has no economy. Has no economy. Has no sustain. The longer this goes on, the better it is for our red Zerg. Surrounds the queen. Bailings crash in, and GG gets called with that. Deception will continue his reign here and extend his lead 2-0. GG. He will maintain his reign as the current king of the hill. GG will play. Deception does take the win, and 5stafamily is going to be knocked out of the tournaments. We only saw them briefly. Exclamation mark guess in the chat if you have an idea of who that might have been. Remember, it was a standard opener going into a hatch gas pool, into a interling bane, into roach play from there. Unfortunately, did not scout the main base. Late lair means late overseer, late scout into the bases, late realization of what was happening. Despite that, did quite well for himself. Was doing a great job at denying the bases, denying the third base over and over again. Was able to deny bases, was able to maintain a 3-base economy, and build up his Hydras, but over time was torn apart. Had a questionable fight across the map with his roaches, where he bled out a lot of roaches as well. And with that, GG. With that, GG well played. With that, Deception does claim the win, but honestly, 5stafamily did pose a threat. Did maintain himself. Was impressive. Was impressive there. GG well played. As we get ready for our next matchup, ooh, as we have a SolidChamp stepping into the ring. Are they Terran, Protoss, or Zerg? We're about to find out. Protoss. Okay, we have another Protoss player, and again, I think it's most difficult to predict the Protosses just because there are so many possibilities. I'm not envious here, but it is going to be a ZVP. Oh, hello. I already have. Interesting. Let's go. I've only ever seen Skylar play off race in a tournament and win. It's quite common nowadays. Eba's won with his off race. Clem has won with his off race. Cyril, Rainer, Maru, Dark. We've seen Dark play Protoss. We've seen Hero play Terran. We've seen Oliveira play Protoss and win with Protoss. That's like there's definitely like room for it, but when it comes to off racing like that, usually you do that for a certain opponent, for a certain matchup. But in this kind of tournament format, you don't really have that kind of luxury of knowing who your opponent is and switching like mid-series or anything like that. That's why I would assume for an anonymous tournament like this, assume that everyone is main racing. I would not try to kind of overthink things and be like, oh, maybe that was like Gabe playing Protoss or something like that. It's like, what? So don't get ahead of yourself. But here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the right-hand corner of torches, we have our Current's king of the hill with 2 wins under his belt. Ooh, going for a gasless opener here. Interesting. It is a deception. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss player himself, our new challenger. It is SolidChamp. Here we go. Here we go. So far, standard opener going for a gate expand. And again, when it comes to who our Protoss player could be, once again, it comes down to who you believe played last night, so you can already rule them out. As there are certain players that I'm fairly certain did play last night, so again, you can like kind of rule them out, and you can try to narrow down who you think this opponent could be, who this Protoss player could be here in day 2's broadcast. As for now, we have our initial gas to start. Initially, Lings are moving out, but we do have a full wall, I believe. Yeah, full wall here back at home. Adept is on the way, and SolidChamp looking solid. Looking solid so far. Stargate opener back at home. From here, we should be rushing up into a faster third, so we're getting gases. Now, gasless builds like this are quite a rare sight. Like, I don't see many Zerg players doing this, to be honest. Opening up gasless in such a way, being this greedy, especially on torches. So you have my attention. Now, taking queens. Joining up. Maybe now the gases, now we have late gas here from our Zerg. Because gases are so late, it's common to skip link speed and go straight into roaches or into a faster lair. So we'll see where the gas is going to be spent. But now they're droning, saturating, building up. And yeah, to no surprise here, roaches. So Roach Warren gets thrown down. As you mentioned, oh, never mind, he cancels the Roach Warren. Okay. Never, oh, okay, he saw. He went roaches. When he saw the Oracle, he canceled. He canceled the Roach Warren. So from here, we can go into an early Eva chamber, into +1, into Ling Hydra. Meanwhile, fast Fleet Beacon out of our Protoss. Okay. I mean, we spoke about this on El Dorado in the previous map pool, but because the rush distance by ground is so short, the rush distance by air is so short, going into Tempest rushes is not unpopular among some of the European Protoss players. So here we have the Fleet Beacon on the way into a Robo. From here we can go into a Tempest rush to try to punish this expansion, just because it's so short by air from this base to this base, or we're right next to each other. So Tempest would make sense. I'll be honest, I have an idea of who SolidChamp is. Actually, going for the Mothership Rush, this is a newer build. When it came to the change to the Mothership and the buff to the Mothership, specifically the Mothership now does more DPS, now does more damage, of course now can no longer be abducted, but with that change amongst the European Protosses, a Mothership Rush build was kind of rising through the ranks in the PvZ matchup. It's been a while since we've seen it, I'll be honest, but we are going for it. And I believe the goal here is to rush into the Mothership and do what? Recall. Recall into the main. We're building up gateways, immortals, sentries as well. And if we can build up energy on these sentries, we can recall into the main and then force field the rail. Then we can go for the force field and end the game. This is a very cheeky build. Oh, we're using the healing. Let's go. The healing pad. The healing pad is popping off. Building up more immortals. Building up more gates. Yep, the plan is the recall. The plan is to recall, but can the mothership sneak out and actually get into the base undetected? It's a big boy. Mothership is moving, but this overseer should scout this. And as long as Deception is in the main, he should be fine. Yep, there we go. He sees the mothership. Mothership is revealed. Queens, they rotate. Spore as well. Again, we're ready for the recall. But he can't get into the main. It's too late. Yeah, he's going for the recall for the main army instead. We're going for the fight. Slow zone on the queens. We have plenty of force fields. Army dives in, locking away the queens. The queens are stuck in the mineral line. Oh no, they can't fight. They cannot help. Not like this. Yeah, the queens are locked down. Going straight for the roaches instead. Oh, nice force field behind the queens as well. Behind said queens. Likewise, SolidChamp falling back. Boys are being pulled. And so many drones going to be going down here. Likewise, mothership does still stand strong. Warp in does complete. Yo, we got the Slowlords coming in, but there's a lot of roaches. There's still a lot of roaches left over. The queen count is almost reset. There's one queen left. But the roaches hold. The roaches, they hold. They do defend. Did cost Deception 15 drones. Oh. Wow. Takes down one of the units. Here, Deception rotating over. Does rotate, does respond. Getting on top of the Roach Warren. Roach Warren goes down, nice snipe. But remember, this is a 2-base all-in. It's a 2-base all-in. There is no expansion, there is no third. It's all or nothing for SolidChamp. And the longer this goes on, the worse it is for the Protoss. It's now moving in. I mean, these are still slow lots. They're still slow, Pappy. They're still slow. Queen's popping up. Roach Ravager moving in. Oof. And we do have Mass Stalker behind this. Is that enough, though? The Immortals are getting low. Oh! Mothership goes down. There's one Immortal left. Yeah, no micro there. No lift. Oh! Barely. Immortal does pull away. But running out of Stalkers, the Corruptors are here as well. The Prism goes down, and with that Deception, he will hold. GG gets called. Deception takes game number 3. He maintains as the King of the Hill. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Deception. He will claim the win here. He will take down SolidChamp. Again, it was a cheeky 2-base all-in, but what's important is it got scouted. Remember, the Overseer did scout the mothership, and that allowed Deception to rotate all the queens over and the Spore as well. Remember, the kill move, the kill shot with this build is recall into the main. Recall into the main base and force field the ramp. But he could not touch the main. He could not get into the main base because of the scouts, because of the Overseer. With that, the queens did deny the mothership, had to recall to the third instead for a head-on fight, and we saw that that was a better turnout for the Zerg for Deception. It was a better result for the Zerg player, was able to take that fight, able to hold, able to defend, and with that, GG, well played. Deception will take another win. Now we're getting ready for our next map. Getting ready for our next setup here. Oh. Gonna be loading into Jagannatha. Okay. TBD. It's been a while, but Jagannatha is going to be coming up next. And I have no idea how to pronounce his name. But it's going to be a Terran player. It's going to be a Terran. Here we go, ZVT. Now, once again, when it comes to Terran players, we're very limited in how many Terrans there are. Remember, we had 2 Terrans last night. 2 Terran players were featured last night. And because of that, again, there aren't that many more Terrans to kind of pick from. We have players like Nickrat, players like Milky Cow, players like Replicant, Zardiant as well. Here we go, we're stepping into the ring and spawning in the left-hand corner of Jagannatha. We have our blue Terran player, our new challenger, screaming out, good luck, have fun. It is PYC. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have our current King of the Hill with 3 wins under his belt, our red Zerg player. It is Deception. Here we go. But again, that was a very spicy game in the previous game, of course. We had, on Torches, we had the 2-base all-in with the Mothership Rush, Rico into the main. I already have my idea as to who that was. But yes, you can, of course, exclamation mark guess in the chat, exclamation mark guess for who you believe the previous player was. SolidChamp, in your mind, who do you think that was, by the way? Who comes to mind when it comes to a 2-base all-in Mothership Rush like that? There were some other clues as well, I want to say. There were some other clues. But for now, we're going to be settling into our next game. We do have our initial hatch gas pool opener here out of Deception. Also, I will say... Oh, sorry, not Deception. Decepticon. Oh, my apologies. Sorry. My apologies. Decepticon. Not Deception. Okay. Yo. Who am I thinking of? Optimus? The player from the UK? Let's go. But sorry, not Deception. It is Decepticon. I was close. But here we go. Here we go. We are getting into our next game, getting into our next best of 1. So far, we do have an economic opener out of our Terran player. I mean, which is standard. If this was a TVP, I'd be freaking out a little bit more, which I almost did, but TVZ. So standard opener, ranks expand. Terran player is moving out. I think Bratok as well, true. I think Bratok, Milky Cow, Nikic, Zardians, Replicants, Protozaver. Those are the Terrans that come to mind when it comes to the CIS region, of course. As Reaper does poke in. Poke in, does pull away. Again, so far, just hatch gas pull, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Nothing crazy, nothing too fancy here. And, oh, that is a 1-1-1. We go from a standard opener into a very aggressive follow-up here. Hello. You have my attention. So, typically, we'd be seeing a 3rd CC. It'd be a 3rd CC, but this is going to be a starport before 3rd CC. We're staying on 2 bases that much longer. This is going to be that much more aggressive, that much more committed. There's our tech lab into an add-on swap into, I would imagine, Banshee play. And already, like, this is, like, the gears are turning as to who is a more aggressive Terran player in the region. We'll see how hard they commit. From here, we should still expand. We should just get a CC on the low ground to wall off and work towards the mid-game. Now extra Hellions are building up. Safety Bailey Nest before Lair, before Eva Chamber. So very safe setup here from Decepticon. Very safe. As yet, there's that 3rd CC. Viking first, shuts down the Overlord, now going for delayed Banshee after the Viking. And what did our Zerg player see? He did get eyes on the tech lab, so he saw everything he needed to. Okay, he's aware. He is aware we have a bio follow-up. Hellions moving out. Zoom across the map. Oh. His Hellions are deflected. They're going to be deflected, going to be zoned away. So far, Decepticon holding on. Alright, Zerg player. Taking gases from here, just going into Ling Bane. From here, we should be working towards Hydras once the lair is done. I mean, sorry, I just realized how late the lair was. But it's going to be a later lair here into, I would imagine, double upgrades. Nice round here on the Hellions. Hellions are being shut down. Nice cleanup. Lings do cleanup. There we go. Double Evo Chamber into double upgrades. Committing into Ling Bane. But what I will say is that we are going to reveal all the players after the tournament ends today. We will reveal. So here we go. Oh, Jesus, what is happening? As our Terran player does react quite hard. A bit of a misread here, assuming it was a Bane bust. It is anything but. Again, our Zerg player just droning, getting another expansion, getting into Ling Bane. But yeah, our Terran player just seeing something that wasn't quite there. He fully walled up with E-bays, with bunkers, expecting a bust. Interesting. There's a couple of things that we can get into. For now, BH's taking it across the map. If you remember earlier, I mentioned how it was a 1-1-1 opener, and I assumed it was going to be something more aggressive than it really was. Now, especially after what we just saw here, our Terran player is playing really scared. He's playing really scared, playing really safe. Yes, he's harassing with Banshees, but remember, these were later Banshees. Does get 7 drone kills. I mean, nice damage. True. Nice damage here with the Banshees. Yeah, it's very on edge. I will say that. I mean, I think a big reason why we saw that as well is that he also has Hellions. Without all those Hellions, he has less vision, right? Less awareness of what's happening. As now our Terran player is moving out. Does move out. Rotating over, does force a cancel, not bad. Denies the base. At the same time, massive Ling run by here does hit the mineral line. SCV is going to be going down. Doesn't quite hit, does force a lift on the factory. Forcing friendly fire. Oh my god. Yeah, the friendly fire is brutal. 15, 16 SCV kills. Ay, very intentional play there from the Zerg. Does slip in 17 SCVs. And with that, here comes that Ling Bane Hydra. 85 workers, a solid economy here for the Zerg. They're looking very comfortable. Quite comfortable. Baneling's gonna be crashing in. There's no way out of this. Tank goes down. Medevacs take 2 lifts in time. They save some of the bio, some of the Marines. Terran player trying to hold on. Does make a stand. Saves the tank. Oh my god. Oh, it does still take some Banelings to the face though. Again, pushing into speed zones. Respect the speed zones, Pappy. Ah. Needs to be shut down. Lings are deflected. Our Terran player now taking a 4th. Setting up defensively back at home. Losing a tank. And he's not quite ready for this. Zerg player moving in. Bailey's they peel off into, oh no, they peel off into the mineral line. SCV's gonna be going down. No Ling Bane for the Bio Army though. So a bit of an overextension from the Zerg. Wind mines are popping up. From here we're settling in. From here we're settling in, we're calming down. Viper production has begun. Decepticon is just maxing out on Ling Bane Hive, on Ling Bane Viper. And Hydra Viper. Lurkers are on the way as well. The mine shots, they don't quite connect. 6 drones do go down, but only 6. And it's going to be a tough hold here for the Terran. Oh no! Again, just not enough room in the Medivacs. Has to pull out. Has to pull away. Oh! Mine shots going off. Once again baiting on more of these mines. Once again committing in. Nice flying clouds here on the fire. Ling Bane rolling on forward. And with that, the third base is being broken once again for the 3rd time. This time getting within range of the tank. The tank is also going to fall, potentially, to the Hydras. Barring Bailings in the middle of that. They do get spotted. Thankfully, spotted in time. As the Decepticon does break through, takes down the depots. And our champ player here on his last legs, trying to hold on, does get some snipes off. Does get a couple of snipes. Lings, they flood in, getting on top of the Ghost. We are taking into Ghost behind this, but it's too late for that. Unfortunately, there's just no economy here. The Zerg players on 94 workers. That's a lot of drones. That's a massive economy. And here pulling away. Going back in. Just launching on the army. And again, these are just trades that we cannot afford. We can't afford it, but not like this. And there's got 20 more Hydras on the way. We have that Lurker demo, not really making use of it. No Lunkers, not yet. We just commit to Ling Bane Hydra. Plus on range on the way. More bases being taken. Technically, or would you see a Terran player attempt to take bottom right, but is unable to? Borrowed Ling. Just started stepping forward, collapsing on the army. Attempted slits here from the Terran. Does attempt them. And with that, GG gets called. We do see once again Decepticon able to break on through, claiming another win, and is still our King of the Hill. GG. Whew. GG, well played. It does claim the win. It does maintain himself as the King of the Hill. And if you're in the chat, if you have an idea as to our Terran player, exclamation mark yes, exclamation mark yes in the chat for who you think that was. What I will say, giving my 2 cents on the matter, based on their performance, based on their play, that did not look like our top CIS Terran players. That did not look like Nicorette. It did not look like Milky Cow. I would lean towards the slightly lower tier Terrans there, leaning towards players like Replicant, like Zardiant. In my mind, like Protozaver, like that's where those would kind of come into consideration, more so than Milky Cow and Nicorette, at least in my mind, based on the play that we saw. But of course, best of luck. You can still go for whoever you so believe that Terran player was. So best of luck with your predictions. As we are getting ready here for our 5th best of 1 of the broadcast. Oh. Getting ready for our next best of 1. Let's go. When it comes to the Zerg player, yes, the Zerg player is looking very impressive, very strong, very powerful. Last night we had another Zerg player that took it to late game to a Protoss opponent that was also looking very strong and very powerful as well. And again, like, who you believe are those two? I'll be honest, the two Zergs that I'm referring to, I think there's a very high chance that those two Zerg players are Wayne and YoungYakov respectively. Up to you to kind of determine which one they are though, and who's who exactly. Remember, we did feature 2 Zergs yesterday, and we're featuring more Zergs today. Well, so far 2 as well today. 4 in total. So it's up to you to kind of like pick and choose and determine who's who. When it comes to the Zerg options, referring to Wayne, YoungYakov, GG Machine, Nikic. When it comes to those Zergs. As for now, we are setting up and getting ready. Getting ready for our next best of 1. Is going to be on Incorporeal. Okay, one of the more mod. Oh my, gee, not another one. Yo, we're running out of Zergs to kind of pick. Okay, what I mean by that, we have a 5th Zerg player. Do we have five notable Zergs in the CIS region? I just listed 4, but now we have a 5th one. NextOne is up next. Let's go. Another ZVZ. Okay. I mean, to be fair, in my mind, I think one of the Europeans was showcased yesterday. Bear that in mind as well. In this broadcast, in last night's broadcast, I believe there were 3 Europeans. In this broadcast, there are 2 Europeans, which means other Zerg players like Fiant, like Mixu, like Iba, they are possible options, possible picks, possible choices. Bear that in mind. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal. We have our current king of the hill with 4 wins under his belt already. It is the blue Zerg player. It is Decepticon. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg himself. It is NextOne. The 5th Zerg player of the tournament. And again, like, if we're getting more Zergs, then you can have the idea that, like, okay, clearly one of these guys probably isn't from the CIS region, right? It's like, one of them may be one of the Europeans. Which again, I have my thoughts on who that is from yesterday's broadcast. Yo, is this where we bring in Lorimbo? True. Get Lorimbo in there. Get him in there. Let's go. That's what I want. So far, we have standard openers. So far, hatch gas full. We have our initial standard opener. So far, no major deviations. What we're really waiting for here is to see the Bailey Nest timings, to see if either player does play two base Roach. If you remember, Decepticon did play 2-base Roach previously on Near Humanity in a different ZVZ, where he went 2-base Roach into 2-base Muta, where he was able to pop off and able to overwhelm against his previous opponent. So that is something in his wheelhouse that he's willing to partake in. So far, we're keeping up. So much ZVZ. It's like, we have 21 players, and for 5 of them to be Zergs, like, that's crazy. That's insane. 5 out of 21? That's like every Zerg player in StarCraft 2. That's true. We're link flooding, by the way. Once again, Evo Chamber, no Bailey Nest. So once again, just like the last time we saw this player in a ZVZ, he went 2-base Roach. This time it is 2-base into a link flood, into a follow-up Roach Warren. Meanwhile, Bailey Nest on the way for NextOne. NextOne is playing standard, going into a Bailey Nest, going into a 3rd base. Again, this is 2-base play from our blue Zerg player, walling up on Roaches and hiding the Lings for the link flood. Does hide his Lings. And the goal here is to catch his opponent off guard. Now, it is not uncommon, if you scout 2-base Roach, it is not uncommon to cancel your Roach. Sorry, to cancel your Bailey Nest. To cancel the Bailey Nest and to delay Bailey production. Here we go, Lings, they do flat out. Next one does spot this. He's away, there we go. Bailings now morphing in, but these are late Bailings for the next one. The Bailings are late. As the Decepticon is forced back. We have some cheeky Bailings, which should not finish. Yeah, Lings, they collapse in. They're going to be focused down. Next one forcing him back. As he does move out across the map. Likewise, Bailings, they should have been back here, but it looks like they were active instead. 2 drones going down, not bad. Takes down 2 workers. Behind this, the Decepticon is going into his Roach play. We have a Bailey Nest, which is going to be cancelled. I'm sorry, which has completed the main. Bailey Nest does complete. And from here, we could turn this into a 2-base all-in. This could just be a 2-base all-in here from our blue Zerg. We'll see if he commits. We'll see if he expands. Remember, throughout all of this, next one does have a 3rd. He's up a base. 2-base Muta. He's getting here in a different way, but once again, 2-base Muta out of our blue Zerg. Remember, he went 2-base Muta last time. So, very fun of Muta play in ZVZ. Very fun. Meanwhile, that's a full wall. Bailings, they do nothing here. They achieve nothing. Oh, Lings, they do slip by. They get into the mineral lines. Slipping into the main. Slipping into the main base. Gonna be cleaned up. And it looks like, I mean, we have to keep going here. So far, there's been no scout into the main. Lair is quite late. It's a 6-minute lair here for our red Zerg. Ay. Army moves out. But I'm not so sure that the next one has enough to do anything here. Has an army that's true, is forcing a response. Spine crawlers on the way. Roaches are amassing behind this next one, just droning. But has no idea that mutas are coming. Here we go. Roaches, they do go for the upgrades. Upgrades are cancelled. I mean, we were preserving them anyway. They were fake. For what? For the mutas. And mutas are revealed. And the next one, we have to commit in. We have to go for it. But remember, he was droning behind this. And he's running out of steam. Yeah, the Roach is going to be cleaned up. The next one goes further into the bases. He wants some kind of damage here, and he's going to get a couple of drones. He gets 1, he gets 2, he's going to get 3, 4 drone kills. This is okay damage. And back at home is preparing. Back at home, spores. Spores are being thrown down. Queens are amassing as well. Overlords have to race back home as well. And Decepticon has map control. He's droning up. Now we can expand. Likewise, surround the Queens. Queens are surrounded. No spore in position. Next one getting caught with his pants down and losing 1, 2, 3 Queens. Massive pickoffs. Catching out 3 Queens. Going for the Ravager. Oh, spores in position. Spores in position behind this. Decepticon still just droning, still saturating. The Lings, they slip into the bases. Banelings as well. Roaches getting caught out. Jesus. Yeah, sniping the Queen. Does snipe the Queen. Still just maintaining map control. Hoping to catch out another Queen. And the third base is being saturated. Meanwhile, our red Zerg player is getting into Hydras. Hydras are on the way. Queens once again getting caught out. Another Queen goes down. That's in how many? 5. 5 Queen kills for 1 Muta. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal losses there for the next one. But behind this still has a decent economy, now taking gases. Meanwhile, Decepticon now saturating. Getting that third base up and running. Are moving out. Do have tunneling claws on the way to try to get across the map in some way, shape, or form with those roaches. More spores are finishing, but the spore is on its own. Oof. Does get targeted. And it takes down the spore. Going for the lair itself. Shouldn't get the lair. Does get a Hydra. Likewise, roaches, they do hit the third at the same time. Nice movement out of our blue Zerg. Going for another Queen. Doesn't quite get it. Catching out the Queens instead. Gets 1, gets 2. Jesus. Yeah, takes down all the Queens. Now going for the Hydras. He can just take the fight. No. This is getting out of hand. And with that, it looks like it's just too much damage. Critical damage at this point. The lair goes down. That should never have happened. And next one's all in. Next one's completely all in. Moving out across the map. With what little he has left. There we go, does borrow. He's doing what he can. Fanning out in between the bases. But there is some detection. Roaches there on borrowing the base. Drones are falling. Let's go. Getting a couple of drone kills. Getting some counter damage, but the reality here is that next one is down to 49 workers, barely an economy. Lost all the Hydras earlier. Doesn't really have much tech to work with. Lair has to be rebuilt before we can even think about the Hive. Before we can think about spellcasters. Now, there is a chance that we can recover in this game state with spellcasters, with infestors or vipers, of course. There is potential, but the problem is we don't have an infestation pit. Oh, no, sorry, there is. There is a pit, but no hive, of course. There's no hive. With this pit, we can still make infestors. Oh. But as the army's distracted, Lings, they flood into the bases. Slip into the natural. Popping up. They do pop off. Mutas, they hit the third. Our blue Zerg does pull away. And now we're kind of coping on one base. It's basically one base economy at this point. There's a couple of patches in the main. It's a little bit left to keep going. Only a little. Oh, nice fungal. And we spoke about it with a couple of fungals. We can pop off. You can be next. It was just one. No, it was just one though. Nah, never mind. Just one infestor, just one fungal. Nice splits towards the end, but alas, Again, it was only one. With that, Infestor goes down. Another Infestor does pop out. Doesn't quite get the fungal off, it grazes the army. And with that, GG. Decepticon will claim another win. We'll take down the next one. GG. Bring the next one, Papi. Aye, aye, aye. GG, well played. Decepticon does continue his reign of terror here. Can anyone stop him? Likewise, again, we're at least getting more information of him. The problem with a player going on a run like this is that we're seeing less of his opponents, right? So you have less information to try to guess who his opponents are. When it comes to our previous Terran player, for example, we're not able to experience a Terran player in a TVP or a TBT. So you're just getting more limited information, and it's making it more difficult to get a better handle on who these players are. Oh, but GG. GG, well played. With that, it does claim another win. And now we're getting ready for our 6th series of the broadcast. Let's go, our 6th best of 1. Who's it going to be? I'll be honest, with that being our 5th Zerg, I don't expect any more. I'll be shocked if we get another Zerg player, a 6th Zerg. That'd be crazy. I would imagine from here it's just nothing but Protoss and a handful of Terran. There are certain Terran players that I don't think we've featured yet today in the broadcast. I don't think we've seen them, so I do think there's still plenty of Terran and Protoss remaining here amongst the player base. And we'll see who rises up next. Here we go. As we are getting ready. As a reminder, it is 20 best of 1s in total, and we've already wrapped up 15. So there's 5 best of 1s left, 5 players remaining. Five players remaining here. Let's go. As it looks like we're still trying to determine who to bring on. But I guess for now we can actually have a look at the bracket itself. As I'm not so certain how much it's been updated. I have my own notepad as well, actually. Far so good. But yeah, it looks like we do need a moment to determine the next player, but it also gives us some time here to go over the bracket itself to try to remind you, especially if you maybe weren't here yesterday, some of the matches that already did take place. Let's go. Let us go. As that is the Sparkling Tunica bracket, un momento. Okay, from the top here. Man, from the top, we have our matches from yesterday's broadcast. We did start things off with Fata Morgana. Fata Morgana able to go on a bit of a win streak here, taking down Solana, taking down Coco as well. Again, we did already have an idea of who these players were. We had Tempest coming out of left field, bringing him down. Tempest also had a very unique playstyle and had some unique tendencies, which we did call out at the time. So Tempest takes down Fata Morgana. Tempest going on a tear, taking down Afo as well. Did eventually fall to Reyna, a Terran player. Then Sante went on a tear. Sante was another Zerg player that looked very impressive, taking down Reyna, taking down Kairos, and eventually fell to Not a Barcode, who got cannon rushed the hell out by Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga did cannon rush, then did end by the counter cannon rush by Ludwig Cursed. That was, of course, yesterday's matches. And again, these are all unique players. None of these players are going to be repeats coming into today's broadcast. So that's why you have to kind of take that into consideration when it comes to who's actually playing and who's actually competing. But of course, that led into these matches here, which has yet to be updated on Wikipedia. Yet to be updated. but we are setting up. And it looks like we do need a moment before we do get into the rest of our matches. So we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next series. Right now, we're getting ready for match 16. 16 out of 20. Oh, never mind. We're good. Jesus. We have a lobby. We have a challenger. We do have a new challenger here. I believe Ru? Question mark. But we might need a moment. Yeah, we need a moment anyway. So we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next best of one. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back again. A very short break. We just need a moment to set up our players and set up our lobby, but we are jumping into our next best of one, our 16th best of one of the broadcast of the tournament. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn, we have the blue Zerg player. He's on a crazy win streak with 5 wins under his belt. It is Decepticon. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Red Terran player. We have the Red Terran himself. It is Ru. Eric, is that you? The kangaroo? Let's go. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series, who you think will win this best of one. Again, the predictions are a little bit more 50-50 just because it's hard that you don't really know who you're predicting on. Of course, our Zerg player here has been looking very impressive, very solid so far in today's broadcast. We'll see if anyone can bring him down. Best of luck in the chat. As for now, we do have our standard openers. And again, welcome to Blackburn. It's been years. It's been years since we have featured Blackburn. It's been a very long time. This was, of course, dominant or predominant a couple of years ago in the EPT era of StarCraft. I want to say like when Blackburn would have been when I was casting games and champs. I want to say 2021. I want to say around 2021, maybe coming into 2022. Blackburn was a thing. So it hasn't been too long. A couple of years. But now there, Rax expands, standard opener out of our Terran player. And when it comes to the features of this map, short rush distance by ground. Very short rush distance by ground. You can expand towards your opponent, make it even shorter, so all-ins are favored. But it's in a way similar to some of the maps that we have currently here. Kind of like Ultra Love, where all-ins are favored, but once you can secure yourself, you can extend this game, and we could end up in a long, hour-long game state as well. It is very common to cut the map in half. To cut the map in half, you have one half, then the other is difficult to break through, and we've seen many a long late game on Blackburn. Dark times. We've seen many an hour-long game on this map. Think of games with Probe, with Neeb. I'm thinking like Probe versus Pig Jr. in ANZ Champs. PVT, like hour-long PVT on Blackburn. The trauma. The trauma. Or like Scarlet versus Neeb on Blackburn. Also another hour-long game. No. For now, that is a CC before Starport. Okay, Economic opener here out of Decepticon. Sorry, out of Ru, meant to say. I should have it this way, actually. There we go. It's a little bit easier. So economic opener out of our Terran player. Behind this, we do see Decepticon going for its own hatch gas spool into a third. Likewise, everything's looking normal so far. Everything is looking normal. It's looking standard. Reaper picks in. Calm down. As behind this, we're going for the add-on swap into 3cc Cloak Banshee, or at least regular Banshee. So far there's been no tells, no major tells here outside of this being just a stock standard build from our Terran. No tells yet when it comes to their play. Ling does slip in and gets a full scout. Does get a full scout of what's going on. Behind this, lair first out of our Zerg player. Lair into Bailey Nest. Hellions poke in. Two immediately poke in. Fourth base now being taken. Now getting to Ling Bane, into double Evo Chamber, into double upgrades, into Ling Bane, into the mid game. Black Badger expanding towards his opponent, takes the triangular third. Throws out extra Raxes into his own bio setup. Hellions, they haven't been too aggressive so far. They're just poking in every now and then. Poking, prodding. No major commitments, no major dives. Oh. Going for the queens. Not quite able to commit. Behind this, so there's Evo Chambers and the Hellions. We are able to keep up. So far, Decepticon takes down a Hellion, preserves the queens. Manages to hit the northern base. Looking to get a kill. The queens, they should be responding. Hellions, they look for an opening. They go for the dive. It does head straight into the natural. Drones are going to get roasted. At the same time, Lings are across the map. Oh boy, we're popping off. Here we go. Hellions in the middle line. At the same time, Lings, they also get into the natural. SCVs are going to be going down so far. 15 drones get roasted. Yeah, 15 drone kills. Oh my god. Does keep going in. Gets 17 more. Jeez, to 19. 19 up to 20. At the same time, though, 14 SCV kills. Lings, they're popping off the third as well. Lings, they're wreaking havoc. More boys being pulled. More production getting caught out as well. Catching up more reinforcements. At 29 drone kills for what? For 24 SCVs. Okay. So we have a back and forth. We have a bit of a clown fiesta here. If you're a worker, get out of here. Don't belong to any of these players. As SCVs and drones alike, they all get shut down. Ru behind this on 34 SCVs. Oof. His economy is crippled. And meanwhile, we do see Decepticon redroning hard. Is just making as many drones as possible. Already back up to 3-base saturation. Now the army supply size here for Decepticon is struggling, is suffering as a result. And here comes Ru. Ru does have the larger army. Does have the much larger army. Is moving out. Making his way towards the 4th. I guess the 5th base. The Banshees, they did force a cancel. Okay. Speaking of, southern base is denied. Northern base as well under fire. As it was denied previously. Was denied. Likewise, Decepticon does kite back. Getting a lot of damage done on the base itself, but does survive. Yo, remember this gold? True. There are gold bases as well. Almost forgot. Banshees, they rotate back around, but there is a swarm position. Ooh. As the Banshees are exposed, they do get a queen. They overextend. Do overextend. Ru's paying attention. Dust him away. We do have Decepticon taking up into Lurker Tech. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den's on the way. Has been able to redrone, getting back up to 74 workers. A decent economy for the Zerg. Meanwhile, Ru is still building up. Still has a larger army. I will say that. Like, in a head-on fight, Ru can still take it. But the problem is the run bys, the counterattacks. Uh-oh. As Mercs, they barely do miss each other. The armies they pass by. Ru, he wants that northern base. He knows how low it is. Down to half HP. Drop is coming in. Lings, they scat the medevacs. Ru pushing through the center. Decepticon is split up. Is split between the bases. We're still trying to rotate, going back in. For the most part, though, yeah, the medevacs, they get spotted once again. Oh, doesn't get them. Doesn't quite bring them down. And at this point, Decepticon has recovered. Has now been able to recover, droned up, getting the goal base, massing out more lurkers. Rocks are being shut down. As he does find a mineral line. Okay, 4 drones going down. Decepticon trying to keep up with the army. Nice target, very nice target fire. Oh my god! Does target fire, takes out 3 of the Baitings. Boosts away. Vipers are here to punish. Massive power bomb. Oh my god, abductions as well. Getting 1, getting 2. Getting all 4 actually. Massive losses here as Ru does plummet in supply. Leading out a massive chunk of fire. And I'm afraid we're going to be here for an hour because I mentioned before that this game, or sorry, this map is kind of known for longer later games. You can cut the map in half and turtle up. And speaking of turtling, that's what we have here. We have a wall of tanks. Lurkers trying to move forward. Liberation has arrived. Pushing into the tank line. It's not going to work out here. League Bane crumbles. 2 lurkers fall. Decepticon coming in from the right hand side. Denies mining. The Bailings are targeted down. Once again, nice target firing. Punishing the Bailings as they do not connect. And again, the control from our Red Terran here has been on point. Has been solid. I have an idea of who it is. Especially with the Hellion dive earlier. But once again, it's hard to pick between the two. You know who I'm thinking of. Yeah, you know. Let's just see it. Our blue Zerg, kill off some links, catching us some tanks, getting 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks going down massively. Romite getting 5. Oh my god, so many tanks full. Again, the Marines are out of position. Completely out of position. That was how many? That was 6. 6 tanks going down for a handful of lings. And now Ru's in trouble. Ru's in trouble. This defensive line that was here, this defensive position, it's now that much weaker. There's what, 2 tanks left? Uh-oh. 2 tanks remaining. Once again, we rotate towards the top side, and we do see Decepticon rotating towards the south instead. Pushing towards the 3rd. Marines have to rotate, but again, they're not quite here in time. Yeah, massive blinding cloud on top of the tanks. Tanks, they attempt to siege. Oh, still though, a better concave for the Terran. Nice hold position micro. Oh my god. As long as they're pushing forward. Hydras, they lunge on in. Getting a tank. Taking down a factory. Lurkers, they don't quite gain ground towards the top side. Decepticon claiming the gold, taking more expansions, has a better economy, has a bank. I can't say the same for Ru, especially in regards to gas. 2 more factories on the way. Decepticon does lunge in, once again punishes the bio. Has broken the third, and from here can just keep on going. Can push in to break the natural. That's a lot of overseers. Rogue? Oh my god, as the bio army gets caught out. Our blue Zerg just wedging himself in between the bases, in between the third and the natural. And there's almost nothing left here. Hydra's a lunge in, catching another tank. More ghosts as well. And there was a chance for our Terran player to slow down the game and to try to turtle up and max out. But if you remember, the moments that this all fell apart was when 6 tanks went down to a couple of lings. GG gets called, and Decepticon takes another win. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does claim another win, does take down another Terran opponent here. The second one so far of this broadcast. And with that, is on a 5-game win streak. 5 games back to back to back to back. And we'll see who's up next. We'll see who's up next. At this point, I feel like we're running out of Terrans and running out of Zergs. I feel like we're going to have almost pure Protoss from here. But we'll see. We'll see who's left over and who we can call upon when it comes to the pool of players. Oh boy. But GG. GG, well played. Oh! Okay. We already have our next player lined up. We have our next player lined up. This is the player name also reminds me of another player that I was kind of glossing over as well. Up next is going to be the PowerOfURI, and that just reminds me of P Power, who's also a CIS Protoss player. Reminded of Power. I don't think this is Power, but just reminds me that's also another option for some of these players for who they could be. Who they could be. As looks like our players, they need a moment. They need a moment here to get ready to set up. I don't miss playing CBT on this map. True, true. Gonna try dark mode? No, no. All the light, papi. All the light. Aye, aye, aye. Oh. As we have our opponent. We have our, Protoss player. Did assume that. Did assume that from here on forward we're going to have nothing but Protoss. And here we go. It is going to be the PowerOfURI. Woody? Let's go. In a ZVP. Now, have we featured Strange already in this tournament? I think we might have. If you remember, there was a player last night that did that was very fond of Glaive Adepts. In my mind, that might have been Strange, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see how our player approaches this as we load into another older map. We're loading into Backwater. Jesus, it's been a long time. This is like what, 2018? Jesus. As spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Backwater, we have our blue Zerg player, our current king of the hill, with 6 wins under his belt. It is Decepticon. Or is it? I think most people have an idea of who this is. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself, our new challenger. It is the PowerOfURI. We go. And again, if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this initial series. As welcome to Backwater. It has been a long time here since we have featured this map in the map pool. As we have options when it comes to expanding and claiming a third base, we have almost like a pseudo pocket. I believe, yeah, this is a Reaper Cliff. Yeah, Reaper Cliff here into the pocket expansion. I remember. It's been a long time. But we're back. We're back. In the water. Let's go. So now hatch gas full, standard open out of our Zerg player. Likewise, my eyes are on the Protoss. For how they open up, whether they play standard, whether they deviate. Let's go. In before UD Soldier, I think UD Soldier already played. I'm not certain on that one. I have to write down today's matches after this before we reveal everyone, just so we can compare. I don't think this is powered, by the way, not at all. If I didn't make that clear. I don't think this is powered. So far, they're going to be a standard opener. Do have our initial Stargate. Stargate opener out of our Protoss. I'm excited for the reveals at the end of this. All right, sorry if I didn't make this clear. If you're in the chat, exclamation mark, yes in the chat, and you can predict yourself if you feel confidence, or even no confidence, even if you want to just take a shot in the dark for some of these players, for Ru previously, for the NextOne, for Pokemon, for SolidChamp, for Memento, for Deception as well. I feel like Deception's the easy one. I feel like Deception's like for sure. But for the others as well, exclamation mark yes, there's a command, there's a Google form. You can predict. As a reminder, you do have to, the name is very sensitive in the sense that if you're predicting someone to be Wayne, then you can't type in Radita or Vanya. That will not count. You have to type in Wayne. If you type in, or if you're predicting like GG Machine for someone, then if you type in Machine, that won't work. You have to type in GG Machine. And I believe it also has to be, it is case sensitive from my understanding. So make sure you get that going as well. If you don't have like a keyboard that has Cyrillic on it, then you can copy paste the names from Wikipedia, at least from yesterday. All the names are there, so you just copy paste. Just as a heads up. Otherwise, here we go. It's going to be the Oracle opener. Third base on the way, going for the triangular third, going for the pocket base. Meanwhile, Twilight Council follow up here, and where is the Forge? Where are the upgrades? What's going on? So early Twilight Council out of our Protoss, very early Twilight Council. This does scream Glaive Adepts. Otherwise, we could see like a Robo follow up into early Archons, into early Archon drop. Here we go. And again, the reason to predict is to earn some money. You can earn money on your predictions. I will say that I won't be submitting predictions. I don't know if that would be fair. It's for the viewers, not for the casters. So if you're out there, good luck. Best of luck, Pappy. Best of luck if you're in the chat with your predictions, with your voting, with your guesses. But the reveal is going to be a lot of fun, for sure. For sure. As behind this, oh, we did have the Forge. My apologies, I didn't miss it, but the Forge was turned down in the main. Also, it's going to be Blink and not Glaives from our Protoss player. Going to +1 Blink Stalker. Likewise, episode do get collapsed upon. Nice cleanup here by our Zerg. Nice cleanup. Behind this rushing to a very fast infestation bit. That is not normal. Sub 6 minutes. Going for the pit. Are we going to Swarm Host? This feels like Swarm Host. I mean, Backwater, because of the bases, because of the pocket base, Swarm Host, yeah, there we go. Swarm Host Nidus. Swarm Host Nidus is on the way. This makes the most sense on a map like Backwater. I mean, this position is prime for Locust Waves. 100%. I remember this back in the day, back when this map was in the map pool, going for Locust Waves into the main, going for Locust Waves here into the pocket base as well. Show us those Swarm Host. Nidus almost done. Yeah, there it is. 6 Swarm Hosts on the way. Meanwhile, Oracles, they do go for the expansion. Trying to force a cancel. Do try to force it. PowerOfURI pulling back. Again, 10 Swarm Hosts on the way. Soldier trying to force a cancel. There's only a handful of roaches. Glass transfuse. Keep the base alive, and here comes that Nidus Worm. Here come the Swarm Hosts. Likewise, because we're going to Swarm Hosts, there's barely any roaches here. The base is gonna fall. And PowerOfURI can keep going from here. Takes down the base. There's a Locust Wave. From here, we can just keep trying to push in. Locust Wave does get into the mineral line. Probe's going down. Oof, takes down 8 workers. Nice blink control. Getting into the main. Very nice control. Catching us on the Ravagers. 1, 2 Ravagers going down. Oof, does try to blink away. Beating off a couple of Lings. Once again being forced back. Now bearing in mind that in today's broadcast there are 2 non-CIS players. And they could be anyone. From Europe, of course. Stalkers are getting called out. Oh. Roach is turning back around, catching out the Stalkers. 2, 3. Oh, as the Oracles do actually punish. Not bad. They try to punish, but you know what? Down the third base. The third base did go down. Yuri stuck on 2 bases. The PowerOfURI, he needs more power. He's all in. Yeah, at this point, he's completely all in. He has to end the game here and now. Where are the defensive Swarm Hosts? Roaches are falling. Swarm Hosts are in the Nidus Worm. More roaches going down. And the PowerOfURI is going to be enough. Here comes that Locust Wave. Has to respect it. Has to back off. Does pull away behind this at 9 gateways. Jesus. Was already going for a 3-base all-in. Blinks into the main. Once again, really nice blink control. Blinks into the main base. Shutting down the infestation pits. Once again, blinking away. Does pull out. Rotating back around. On the one hand, yes, the armor supply is heavily in favor of our Zerg player, but a lot of the supply are in the Swarm Hosts. Upgrades are being denied. Roach Warren goes down. Takes down the Roach Warren. Back at home. Ooh. Takes down the Nidus Worm, but the Locust Wave still gets in. Nice movement there from Yuri. Oof. Catching up 5 probes. Soldiers once again pushing forward. Oof, bleeding out some more Stalkers. And this is not good enough. Yeah, the Stalkers, they just don't do enough damage. Oracles are zoned away. Here, our blue Zerg still on 3 bases, but still able to max out. And still just popping off. Now it's time to counterattack. Remember, the Roach one was sniped, so there's no more Roaches, just pure Ling Hydra. pure Ling Hydra Swarm Host. Once again, blinking into the main. Does blink in, saves what he can. Goes for a massive warp in. But again, these Stalkers, they just don't really scale well against Ling Hydra. Force the recall. Stalkers are being shut down. Our blue Zerg does clean up. Locust waves are continuing. Again, we are just running out of steam. And there's no saving this. Locust wave into the natural. Ling Hydra towards the third. And there are how many Stalkers left? There are 29. I mean, that's a lot of Stalkers. 29 Stalkers. It's a lot, but not enough. It's trying to buy time, dragging away the army. Ling Hydra pushing forward. Catching out more Stalkers. And GG gets called. Alas, our Zerg player does overwhelm, and Decepticon will claim another win. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, on the one hand, like, solid play here, solid performance by Decepticon, but the problem here is that we are seeing so little of his opponents that it's so hard to determine who that is. Like, I was very impressed by PowerOfURI's blink control, for example. Did have a lot of solid blink control. Again, didn't look too bad whatsoever, but got shut down, got pulled apart by the Swarm Host, of course, and that's the only game. That's the only game we get to experience of the PowerOfURI, so we have so little to work off of. If you're confident though, exclamation mark, guess in the chats. Place your bets, or I should say, place your prediction on who you think that was, and who you think was playing under the name of PowerOfURI. Best of luck in the chat. Again, if I didn't make this go, because I don't think I went over the details of it, but basically there is a big prediction game going on at the moment, and the person with the most accurate, the most amount of accurate of correct predictions in the chat will earn some money, will earn some prize money. I think it's top two. I think top two. They earn some prize money for the most amount of correct predictions. As a reminder, you can't spam predictions because the first one you lock in for a player. It's set in stone. Any future predictions that you try to place after that are going to be void. They're going to be null. So one prediction per player is all you get. So you got to be certain, you got to be sure when you do predict as to who a player is. You got to be confident. So best of luck with those predictions, as that takes us into our 18th best of one. And we're nearing the end of the broadcast. Are nearing the end. We go. So here we go. We are setting up, and we do have our next challenger here. It is going to be unfair. Okay. I appreciate it. A Terran. I think. No, whoa. Another Zerg? This is getting out of hand. Okay, another Zerg player here. Another ZVZ. This is Zerg number 6. 100% at least one of these Zergs that we featured in this tournament is not from the CIS region. 100%. There aren't that many Zergs in it. Let's go. Like that again, as I mentioned before, that's why I'm thinking of players like Fiant, I'm thinking of players like Mixu, players like Iba. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. As we have a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. Cyberforce, gee, it's also, this is another old map. Oh my god, very old map. But we're about to jump into our next ZVZ. Decepticon versus Unfair, beautiful. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Cyberforce, we have the blue Zerg player, the current king of the hill with 7 wins under his belt. It is Decepticon. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our new challenger here. We have the would-be usurper, the yellow Zerg player. It is Unfair. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. As we are setting up and settling in. And again, welcome one all to Cyberforce. If you're in the chat, predictions are open on whether you think who will win this series and who will take this best of one. Best of luck in the chat. But Cyberforce was also in the map pool many years ago. Does have a very narrow choke point. Look at how narrow this feels illegal. Like what is this natural? Like we never see a ramp coming into the natural this narrow anymore. This is a thing from years gone by. This is not acceptable nowadays in the current meta. That's crazy. That's like, you can never break this. That's like one force field. That's crazy. That's insane. Ay. Gonna be some off-race Zergs. I would assume no. I would assume just again. Remember, some European Zerg players can step in. I would not have that as my first guess. I mean, you can go for it, but I mean, I don't know if I would waste a prediction being like, oh, that must be Showtime. Oh god, off racing a Zerg. It's crazy. I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by the ramp. Here we go, third base on the way. So far, hatch gas pool into a third base. Standard opener here, going into early roach. Oh, never mind. Going into an early roach warren. Lorimbo, is that you? No shot they would drag Lorimbo out for this. That'd be amazing. I think Lorimbo, he's more of like a 12 pooler. He's more of like a 13-12, 14-14 kind of guy. Regardless, going for an all-in. Roach rush. Roach rush here from Unfair. No bailings. Meanwhile, 2-base play here from our blue Zerg. Is walling up. Jeez, look how narrow this is. It's crazy. It's a ramp as well. Like, are we really gonna try to all in up this ramp? I mean, again, bearing in mind that our blue Zerg player Decepticon, he's playing 2-base. He's not expanding. He's playing 2-base Roach. He's securing himself on 2 bases, but he is droning. True, he's droning up. He's taking gases. He hasn't confirmed what's going on. He saw the third, so he's assuming droning. There it is. Wall of spines. He fully walls off. Wall of spines are on the way. He has a full wall. And here comes the all-in. It's all or nothing. Overlord's being hunted down. Ling Roach pushing forward. Unfair does cut workers at 25. And is this Unfair? Can he do this? Can he bring down Decepticon? Is he our OptimusPrime? Or is he Shia LaBeouf? Is he Sam Witwicky? As he does start to step in, the spine coolers are done. Uh-oh. Yeah, spine coolers are complete. The wall did buy time. And there's no breaking this. Yeah, there's no breaking this. The Spine Claws, they stand strong here, and Decepticon does survive with a greater economy, with a better economy, a better worker count. He's on 3 casters, he has a lair, he's getting into Roach upgrades, +1 range, Roach speed, and the all-in fails. Oof. The all-in does fail. As we mentioned, like here, specifically on Cyberforest, this natural looks so difficult to all-in into. I mean, when we remember, I was shocked about it at the start of the game. But it's just such a narrow ramp. Emphasis on ramp of all things. Like such a narrow choke point, such a narrow ramp here, pushing into the natural base. With that, Decepticon does hold. We have a Spire behind this as well. And Unfair has some training to do. We got a lot of droning to do here. Aye, aye, aye. So now, does delay the expansion. I mean, that's something, does delay. And right now, the problem is, I was about to say that it's all unfair to contain on 2 bases, to delay the 3rd, to poke in, and to try to buy time to recover economically. The problem is that Decepticon is going for a Spire and is going to Mutas. The problem is that it's not about a Roach push, it's going to be about the Muta switch. Now, the upgrades are still finishing. Roach speed is done for Decepticon, +1 range on the way as well. Is building up his army. And how many queens do we have? 2. Oh, not even 3. 2 queens for unfair. That's all the anti-air. 2 queens. 2 queens, 0 spores, no hydrogen, of course, as there's scouting. Unfair is going for an all-in though. No drones. Likewise, right? No queens, also no drones, no saturation. Unfair, after the first failed all-in, is going for a second all-in. You get spotted. You get spotted by the changeling. Mutas move out. Lings, they slip in. Oh, that should not have happened. The wall was not a wall. Lings, they slip into the main. They're going to be cleaned up. Here comes the Roach army. Again, it's all or nothing for unfair. And Mutas, they catch the tail end of the Roaches. But this could still be enough. Unfair, he's got 30 Roaches against 19. Gets into the mineral line, but he needs more than this. He needs more than just drones. He has to break the main army. There we go. Stutter sets forward, collapses on the Roaches. Flash Transfuse does save one a little bit longer. Mutas, they will eventually clean this all up. That's going to be every queen falling. But he's running out of steam. He's running out of Roaches here. What's scary is that Unfair just killed 12 drones. Decepticon still up in workers. He still has a better economy. He's on 47 drones compared to the 44 of his opponents. That's just how little economy Unfair had. That's how all-in he was. And the all-in is failing. The all-in is failing here. I have my prediction on who Unfair is, by the way. Well, actually, no, I think I do. Yeah. I think I do. I think the biggest problem, like when we do our reveal, I want to give like my rationale for my picks before we like reveal who it actually is. But it's gonna be difficult because this is 21 players. It's gonna be difficult to remember every single one. It's not gonna be easy. So now the mutas are going to be zoned away. Decepticon. He does snowball out of control from here. Again, there's just nothing left. There's nothing left here. The base is going to go down. We have attempted Hydra production, but it's not about the mutas, not anymore. Now it's about the Roach Ravager. Roach Ravager pushes forward, deals with all these Hydras. Again, Hydras in a head-to-head fight, they cannot take it, not to Roach Ravager. And the Hydras, they all just crumble. They all just crumble at this point. Mutas now, they come in to collapse on the Mutas. GG gets called, and Decepticon takes down Unfair, claiming another win. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Can anyone stop this man? GG, well played. With that, Decepticon does claim another win. Oh. Let's go. Decepticon does claim another win. Unfair does go down, and now we have 2 players remaining. 2 players left to go here, as we're getting into our 19th best of 1 out of 20. Getting into match 19. Oh boy. No shot there's ever going to be another Zerg player. No shot. But here we go. Here we go. We are setting up. So 2 players remaining. And I feel like the last remaining 2, they have to be Protoss, right? Like I feel like we got a lot of Protosses in the backlog that have yet to show themselves. Regardless, so if you have an idea of who Unfair was, exclamation mark yes in the chat, so you can get your prediction in on who you believe that final player was, or that last player was, who was Unfair. As we get ready for our next matchup, our next best of 1. We're going to be going on a short break here, and when we come back, we'll have the rest, or the remainder of the broadcast of the 2 games. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break. Oh. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final best of 1 of the tournament of the Anonymous Cup. Again, a very unique tournament where we have no idea who the players are outside of how they play, their performances, and their gameplay here in the Anonymous Cup, where we decide, we predict, we guess who they are. And this is it, the final best of 1, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Thunderbird, we have the blue Zerg player. He has been on a tear, winning game after game after game in this King of the Hill format. Can anyone stop him? As he has 8 wins. 8 wins under his belt. It's the blue Zerg. It is Decepticon. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Terran. Oh, the Terran, not the Protoss. Okay. We have the Red Terran player. What's he called? I have no idea. I'm not familiar with Cyrillic, but it's our Red Terran. Hold on, I'll do this. Red Terran, beautiful. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our final best of 1 of the broadcast. I did mention that there should be 2 more best of 1s remaining, but there is a caveat to that. Alas, we do have alas, the start of the broadcast was delayed because we were missing a player. Because we were missing a player, it means that we did actually miss a best of 1. So 1 best of 1 is removed as one of the players was not available here. So because of that, this is the final best of 1 of the event. Oh boy, here we go. And already, welcome on all to Thunderbird. Once again, it's been a long time since we've been on Thunderbird. Once again, another older map in the map pool. The SME does mine through the center of the map. We do have a double gas opener out of our Terran player. Racks expand, yes, but we'll see where this leads us. As the SME does poke out, does get eyes on the setup. So far, hatch gas pulls, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Link speed is on the way, pulls out of gas. Third base is going to be taken. We have the eBay block here. Okay. eBay block at the third. Very cheeky. You have my attention. Oh my god, does force a cancel. That is not normal. That is... Hello. Terran. That is not normal to even block the third base, by the way. I can think of a player that does that. Interesting. Interesting. As Reaper does pull away. Likewise, we are going to be building up back at home, securing our bases, getting ourselves ready. Oh, we're going for a link flood. Oh my god, we're just gonna end it quick. Here we go. 12, 14 lings on the way. 16 lings are on the way. Behind this, we do have our follow-up here. It is gonna be a 3cc into 111. But the early lings, they are gonna pose a threat, and they can completely catch the Terran player off guard. Uh-oh. As Ling speed is about to finish, we are moving out across the map. Lings, they poke in. They will disrupt the initial economy here, but this actually already does allow our Terran player to fully wall off. Like, we've already shown our hand a little bit here. I say that the wall is lowered. The wall is lowered. Lings are ready. Hellion pokes out. And Decepticon does commit. Does dive in. Going for the Hellions. Does go for the Hellions, does get into the middle line, but so far, nice worker control, nice defense. Yeah, the drone drilling is on point. And Lings are cleaned up. A clean defense here from our Terran. Again, it did feel like our Zerg player here was just a little bit too over eager when it came to pushing in. Looking at the traits, 20 Lings for 1 SCV. For 1 SCV. Ay, ay, ay. So strong defense here from the Terran. Behind this, Overlord is being shut down. Hellions are moving out. Hellions, they do threaten the wall. Last Queens, they can hold their own. What do we have? We have middle passages towards left-hand side. So a pretty secure, very secure third base, actually. Almost a pocket third, really. Because there's only one entrance. And you can just expand it. You can play gasless on this map. Jesus. You can play gasless. God, this map is crazy. And so there are just so many mineral walls everywhere here. Another wall towards the center. Another wall in the center. Rocks as well. So from here we're setting up. Setting up. Hellions do threaten the base. Landed Viking rest in the main. Is shut down. And from here we're building up. And I'll say that the Terran player is in a better position, for sure. Like, Terran player is in a better position. And on top of that, Thunderbird, again, this is just such a secure expansion. Like, there's no chance for a Ling run by, a Bailing run by. Like, this is a very defensive three-way setup. It shows how old the map is, as this is often not really seen in modern StarCraft. Having this secure of a three-way setup, this is very like King's Cove or Neo Violet Square or Abyssal Reef. As the Terran is safe, yeah, very safe. From here, can start working on a 4th CC, 5 rack setup up and running. Like, typically, Ling Ramais would threaten and would harass these bases, but that should not happen here. Meanwhile, Decepticon getting into his own Ling Bane, getting to double upgrades into 1-1. Drones are getting roasted, getting 2 drones so far. Nice kiting here from our Terran. Kites well. Does kite well for himself. From here, pulls away, rotates over. Knocking down those rocks. Are getting knocked down. Likewise, Lings, they attempt to counterattack. They do slip by. They get spotted. Do we commit? Do we commit? Do we turn back around? Behind this, we are 8-raxing, 3 base all in out of the Terran. Lingze will hit the third, but we have plenty of reinforcements. And he's going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throats. The Hellbats, they have arrived. They have transformed. Oh. Bailings trying to connect. Decent splits. Yeah, the splits, they are good enough. We have more links coming in. But here come the reinforcements, and they will save the tanks. One tank goes down, the other to survive. We have the attendant mule to repair. But this is going to be the end of the Decepticons here, as it's him. He's made it. It's Optimus. He sims on forward, and what is it to defend? There are a couple of bailings, true. A couple of bailings do more fin. We have some Hydras to defend as well. Again, this is an AVAX, this is a 3-base all in. He throws down the mule hammer. Man, you're an animal in more ways than one. We'll get into it. Oh my god. No splits towards the end. Uh-oh. No splits. Yo, we're like overconfidence here out of the Terran. Oh, the juggling though. The juggling is real. GG gets called. And with that, the reign of terror of the Decepticons is over. And we have our red Terran claiming the final win. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to the red Terran. I don't know what it translates to. I apologize. I think there's someone in the chat, maybe. OptimusPrime. There you go. But GG, well played. Congratulations here. Congratulations to our red Terran. And with that, that is going to be the conclusion of the Anonymous Cup. That is all 19 best of ones. Remember, 19, not 20. It was going to be 20, but one of the players was otherwise missing in action, so we didn't miss a match. We didn't miss a best of one, but 19. Oh, is it actually Optimus Prime? I was memeing. Is that what that is? Let's go. Let's go. It's, for those who don't know, apparently the translation of that Cyrillic name is Optimus Prime. Oh, we were joking, but okay. Let's go. Optimus, he does it, Pappy, he does it. Beautiful, beautiful. The memes are real. The memes are real. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations. He does it for the Autobots. Yes, let's go. And if you're in the chat, if you have, I have a pretty strong idea of who that was, by the way. If you're in the chat, place your predictions. Get your guess going. Exclamation mark, a guess in the chat to not just guess this player, but all the players that you can. Even if you're maybe like half certain about some players, it's worth it just to, you know, just to take a shot in the dark. Take a shot in the dark and go for that prediction as to who you believe some of these players were. Go for it, Pappy, go for it. GG, well played. With that, OptimusPrime, he's going to be our final King of the Hill. And I think there are some obvious ones, but let's wind it back. Also, I have to write down my own picks, actually. I have to fix up some of these as well. Okay. Now, something that I have to bear in mind here is to remember, for today's broadcast, specifically for today's broadcast, there are 2 players that are not from the CIS region. True. And I'm pretty sure one of the Zergs, players is not from the CIS region. At least one, maybe 2. And, oh god, whether it's Fiant, whether it's, Mixu, I did have a prediction earlier, actually, last night. Also for yesterday's broadcast. For one of the Zerg players, actually. Yeah, I think. But yeah, with that, you still have some time. You still have some time to get your predictions going for who you think some of these players were, for who you think Tempest was, Fata Morgana was, for who you think Sante, Reina, Kairos, Not a Barcode, Lady Gaga, Ludwig Cursed as well, MementoMori, 5stafamily. I have a hard time with 5stafamily, not gonna lie. I don't, you know, my shot in the dark. Zerg players in the EU that would play in this tournament. I'm gonna say Fiant. I'm gonna say Fiam for that one. that's a shot in the dark. Not gonna lie. For 5-star family. Oh god, I'm so uncertain about that one. PowerOfURI. PowerOfURI. Hold on. What game was PowerOfURI on? PowerOfURI. That was the ZVP on Backwater against the Swarm hosts. Who is PowerOfURI? That really sold Blink Control. I think PowerOfURI, I was thinking, in my mind, I was thinking maybe Arcfire. Like, just because, like, I need another non-CIS player, right? And I think a lot of my predictions are, like, UED Soldier, Replicant, Night Phoenix, Wayne, Nikic, Nicaract. Or could it be Sebestes? Ooh, maybe. Like, Sebestes could have played in this tournament as well. Who's more likely, Sebestes or Arcfire? Or am I missing someone? Mana? Mana could have played. The problem is that the winner, like, again, like, specifically for today's matches, for today's Protoss players, we barely got to see them. We barely got to see what these Protoss players are made of. There were some shorter games. Like, was there enough in that Swarm host game where you can, like, accurately or with confidence predict one of these guys? He didn't play like Mana. Nah, no shot. I can say that. I can for the ZVP. Nah, he didn't play like Mana. Mana, he plays more of an Archon heavy style. Nobling Stalker like that. Okay, shot in the dark, Arcfire. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. Everything's showing from the Zergs. Obviously, I think I do think Decepticon is Wayne. I think that's an easy one. I think, right? I was kind of like dancing around saying it, but like I think Decepticon is very clearly Wayne. You see a strong showing from Zergs. It was only one Zerg player winning. It was just Wayne popping up. Like I'm pretty certain that was Wayne. I think most people can assume that. Oh. 3 non-Protosses last time. I think I've got them locked in as well. Alright, so best of luck with your predictions with your Gamba. I think we're going to reveal in like a couple of minutes. In a couple of minutes, we'll do the reveal. Okay. So I'm just messaging. I'm messaging MindelVK so we can do the reveal together. We can reveal together, papi. Yeah, let's go. We can reveal together. Also, I'm aware that the RSL qualifiers are around the corner. We'll wrap up this first, and then we'll switch over to RSL. We'll get there. I don't want to feel too rushed, but yeah, we could maybe miss the first round of RSL. It'll be okay. Who's playing in RSL today? I'm sure a lot of these players will play, 100%. A lot of these guys will step in. Who do we have? We have Showtime, BabyMarine, Sebestes, Shameless, Night Phoenix, Hacker is top. Scarlet is playing tonight. Let's go. Mixu. Inexorable. It's a stacked bracket. It's stacked. I believe it's top 2. Make it through RSL. Yeah, top 2. So we might miss the first round of the RSL qualifier. but it's okay. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Sante yesterday did a good job too. He did. Sante did well. Oh, okay, let's go. Okay, it's time to reveal. It's time to reveal. Okay, from the top. Last night, let us switch our scenes over here to the reveal page. Okay, so so we did have last night. We had day one. It all began with Solana versus Fata Morgana. Now, if you remember, I was locked in initially on Fata Morgana being Spirit. I'm pretty sure Spirit played in this tournament. I'm pretty certain Spirit played in game one. And I was almost 100% locked in that Spirit was Fata Morgana. By now, guesses they're locked in. We're done with the predictions. Now it's time for the reveals. So I was pretty certain initially that it was Fata Morgana. But then someone in the chat, I think Simbi did bring up BabyMarine, and I was like, oh, true. Like it's like an Italian name, and and based on their playstyle, I can see that being BabyMarine. So I had a hard time. In the end, I went for Fata Morgana being BabyMarine and Reina being Spirit. That's what I settled, but it could be the other way around. But I settled on BabyMarine being Fata Morgana first. Meanwhile, Coco, who did I go for Coco? Coco, I went for Coco being GG Machine. If you remember, GG Machine, that was on Last Fantasy. That was on Last Fantasy where the Zerg player was playing really well, but they were being torn apart. Like, they were being torn apart by the aggression of Fata Morgana. And because of that, they did seem a little bit weaker than a YoungYakov or a Wayne. So for Coco, I went for GG Machine there. For Solana, Solana was a hard one. Solana played really well, actually. Solana played so good against Fata Morgana in game one. Eventually was torn apart and overwhelmed. I don't know who to put there. I left that blank. My mind, I can't think. I have a hard time for that one. Oof. I can see that being Skilless, for example. Like or Art. I can see that being Art as well. But I had a really hard time going for Solana. I had a really hard time with that one. Tempest, 100% Shameless. It has to be. Tempest has to be Shameless. Tempest, if you remember, Tempest was the player that kept throwing down the sprays. So I easily locked in Shameless for Tempest. Next we had another Protoss, Afo. I left that blank. Solana and Afo, mate. Like, we barely got to see them in those games. Like, there wasn't too much like to distinguish them from each other. So I had a hard time with that one. Reina, because I went BabyMarine for Fata Morgana. For Reina, I went Spirit. Sante, for Sante, initially I thought Wayne. And I had a hard time between Wayne, between YoungYakov, between Mixu as well, or maybe a European Zerg player. Specifically, I'm pretty sure Wayne is not Sante, obviously. Wayne, I'm pretty sure, is Decepticon. So if that's Wayne, I'm going for the wildcard pick of Mixu for that one. Wow, I could be Fiant. I think that's a European Zerg. I think that's a European Zerg player. I think Santa's a European Zerg player, not a CIS Zerg player. I don't think he was playing like YoungYakov. I don't think. I think YoungYakov was one of the ZVZ boys today. I think I looked YoungYakov as unfair. I think YoungYakov was unfair in my mind. We had Lady Gaga was obviously Gref. Lady Gaga was cannon rushing, so that was obviously Gref. Not a barcode. Did I pick? Not a barcode. In my mind, if you remember, Not a barcode was the player that went into the late game on Eternal Empire against Sante. For me, it was a toss-up. Like, he played really well in the late game. One of two players, Skilless or Geralt. And I looked in Geralt. I looked in Geralt for Not a barcode. That was the hyper late game on Eternal Empire. Memorable, true. But I looked in Geralt for that one. Who else did we have? We had Ludwig Cursed. I went Art. Ludwig Cursed, because they called each other out, so I was like, it's probably Art. MementoMori, I went UD Soldier. 5-Star Family, I went Fiance. I had Replica, Night Phoenix. I had Night Phoenix for SolidChamp. I was tempted for a skillless pick there, but I went Knife Phoenix for SolidChamp. Obviously Wayne for Decepticon. NextOne, I went Nikic for NextOne, based on his play. For Rue, the Terran player, I went for Nicaract. For Unfair, YoungYakov. For OptimusPrime at the end, Milky Cow. That I'm pretty sure that was Milky Cow at the end, by the way. But we'll see, because we're gonna find out together. Here. Let's go. Oh, I have to download this. Sorry, I'm downloading the files that has all their names. That has the revelation. Ah. Can I do this? Okay, up first. Oh my god! Okay. Okay, out of left field here. All right, from the top. What's the best way of doing this? Because it's an image file. Oof. I'm gonna be lazy. I'm gonna be lazy with this one, just because I can't be bothered introducing another source. Okay, up first we have Fata Morgana. For me it was a toss up. Between. God, I've been so sneezy today. For me it was a toss up between Spirit and BabyMarine. But fun fact, no, it was neither one, actually. It was neither one. Out of left field, for me at least. Very impressive with how he was playing. I'm very impressed. Will this show? Bam. Can you see him? That's Nicaract. Fata Morgana. That was Nicaract. Oh, but also there's a big cat as well. Okay, so I was completely off on that one. I was thinking of Nicaract initially, but like based on their play, like I wasn't really getting Nicaract vibes. Like Nicaract, he's so aggressive, he's so in your face as well. So I wasn't really committing to Nicaract. I was flirting with the idea, but no, I thought we saw him later. Remember, I went for Rue for Nicaract instead. So okay, so we got Nicaract as Fata Morgana. Yo. So who was BabyMarine Reina then? Hold on. Let's find out. Up next we have Solenia. Okay. Decepticon I think is YoungYakov, but could also be Wayne. Nah, I think it was Wayne. But true, it could be YoungYakov. But first we had Nicaract. Up next we have Solana. Solana was high. Oh my, that was one of the EU players, the Hydra. Okay. That was the non-EU player. One of the three. So Hydra did come out. Went down to Nicaract. There we go. Did have Hydra as Solenia. Up next, we had Coco. Coco, I think I had pinned as GG Machine. No. Oh, a player that I would never have guessed this. Okay. I mean, was looking impressive. Coco was Vaxuru, I believe. Vax. I think I've seen him in qualifiers for 5 Grow Cup before, but there you go. Like, I wasn't looking bad at all in that series. Or in that game against Nicaract of all players. Not looking bad. Up next was Tempest. Tempest was the player you could use as bracketing for this. I mean, I don't have an image source for that. I would have to hold on. Hold on. I'll try and get that going. I'll try and fix that up. Actually, I can I can repurpose some stuff, I think. All right, up next was Tempest. Tempest, I felt like was shameless. Yeah, that was the easy one. There it is. Oh. Bam, there we go. Shameless. He was Tempest. I mean, that was an easy one because of the sprays and the play style. Like, we called Shameless really early for that one. So Shameless, yep, was Tempest. No surprise there. Who's next? Up next we had Afo. Afo had a really hard time picking. That was a Protoss player. Rostock. Oh, yo, the Terminator. Rostock did step in. Alright, who's next? Hold on, there are just so many files to go through. That was Rostock. Shackdoll. Beautiful. Okay. So we had Rostock as our 5th player. Up next was Reyna. If you remember, I had a hard time picking between BabyMarine and Spirit for this one. Moja! Okay, Moja was Reyna instead. Yo, we got Moja involved. Let's go. So Reyna was Moja instead. Yo, dude, does that mean we didn't have Spirit? I thought for certain we would have Spirit just because Indy was there. Okay, never mind. Moja played well. Moja played very well. Big shout to Moja. Up next was Sante. Sante, in my mind, was an EU player. Oh, wait, no. Yo, Sante, GG Machine. Okay, who did I have as Sante? Mixu. Okay. Yo, GG Machine, he popped off. He was looking very impressive. Remember, I thought GG Machine was the Zerg player that went down earlier. I thought that was Coco. Okay. Very impressive. Very impressive play there by GG Machine. Let's go. As up next, we had a Kairos. I think Kairos, was he the one that that went for the Glaive Up build? Was he, in my mind... Oh, Kairos was Art. Okay, I think in my mind I thought it was Strange. Okay, Art was Kairos. Okay. Up next was Kairos. Then we had Nota Barcode. In my mind, Nota Barcode, that was Geralt, right? In my mind. Yeah, Geralt. So Nota Barcode, if you remember, he was the Protoss player on Eternal Empire. So in my mind, I had a toss-up between Skillus and Geralt, and I settled on Geralt. I remember people in the chat were being like, oh, is that Showtime? No, Geralt. So we got that one. So we got Geralt. We've gotten some of these correct. Who's up next? Lady Gaga, that's gonna be Gref, 100%. Yeah, Lady Gaga was Gref. That was an easy one. Everyone got Gref there. And the next one was Ludwig Curse, the player that knocked Gref out. UD Soldier. Okay, UD Soldier got him. There you go. Este UD. He had the defensive cannon rush. Nice. Okay, I think the biggest surprise to me was Nicaract. Like Nicaract, he was like out of left field, which means BabyMarine did not play day one. He didn't play. He's crazy. Did not play day one, which means did he not play day two? Yo, we were so convinced that he was one of the Terrans. He didn't play, Pap. He didn't play. Place where you choose any image. Okay. Meanwhile, we have today's matches. Who's up next? Sorry, it's just a lot of files It's a little bit messy. Now there was a player that that didn't play today. Remember? So there was a player that didn't play, that didn't compete. Just as a heads up. Extracting all the files. All the files. They're all encrypted, Pappy. Let's go. But we do have... There we go. Up first. Ascension YoungYakov. Wait, was he... Did he play today? Did he... Or is he the one that was gone? Was he in our first series? Oh, I thought YoungYakov was someone else. Okay, okay. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. This is I thought it was Wayne. I thought it was no. YoungYakov popped off. Okay, YoungYakov. That was Decepticon. I see. I see. Right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, YoungYakov, not Wayne, not Wayne. Yo, he's crazy. He played in our tournament, then straight into this. The stamina, baby. The stamina. Next was 5stafamily. 5stafamily was Wayne. We started with Wayne. Oh my god. I thought 5stafamily was. I went Fiant. I went Fiant for that one. Okay, okay. Wayne got knocked out early on. Early on. That was the ZVZ on Near Humanity. Near Humanity. Next was SolidChamp. In my mind, this was Power. Hey, we spoke about Power earlier. We were like, PowerOfURI is not Power. PowerOfURI, sorry, Power was SolidChamp. Okay, okay. I had that as Night Phoenix. Did Night Phoenix not play? So we had SolidChamp. Up next, we had Replicant. I think I did have it as Replicant, right? Yeah. I had I wrote down PYC Replicant. Yeah, we got him. We got it. So we got Replicant. He was PYC. He was the Terran player on Jagannatha, I believe. Terran player on Jagannatha. Went for Replicant for him. Up next, we had NextOne. NextOne, we went Nikic for this one. Yeah, Nikic. Yeah, we know him. We know him, pal. We know him. Okay, 2 for 2. Next one, Nikic. Up next was... Who was next? The next one, Ru. Now, Ru I'm not getting correct, because Ru I went Nicarat, and Nicarat already played. So who was Ru? BabyMarine! Okay, there he is. God damn. BabyMarine was Ru. I thought BabyMarine was Nicarat, and I thought Nicarat was BabyMarine. I had them switched. I had them flipped. God damn it. All these Terran players, they look the same. I had them the wrong way around. Okay. Up next was PowerOfURI. I had Arrowfire for this. I had a really hard time for that. I was thinking a European Protoss, but that was Night Phoenix. God, because I was so sure that the previous Protoss was Night Phoenix. God, okay. So he did play tonight. I thought SolidChamp was Night Phoenix. PowerOfURI was the Protoss player on Backwater. So that was Night Phoenix. Then we had MementoMori. This one, who did I have? I had UD Soldier for this, which clearly it's not. Printf. That was that was the, oh my god, that was the macro cannon rush. That was the mate, out of left field. Printf. Wait, where's Printf from? Is he European? I thought it was American. What the hell? Hold on. Ref. Hold on. Mate, how is Printf here? He's American. He's not European. Yo, wait, hold on. I call shenanigans on this one. Hold on. We were told it was for today. It was supposed to be purely CIS players and 2 Europeans. Okay, we're not thinking about Americans here. Oh my god. Print F. Does he have like long lost, like Ukrainian citizenship? Is that what's happening? Are we finding that out here today? Aye. I'm not. Shenanigans, man. Shenanigans. But that was Print F, and who's up next? We had the final player. Now, I had assumed the final player was Milky Cow. Yeah, that was easy. The final player, OptimusPrime. This is OptimusPrime, Milky Cow. That was when I saw him open up. Oh, good. When I saw him open up with the eBay, if you remember, I was saying, yo, not many people do this. Going for the eBay block opener, that screen Milky Cow. And then with like the mules as well. Yeah, Milky Cow. We got that one. So we didn't really get that many correct. We got Milky Cow, we got Nickich, we got Geralt. We had BabyMarine and Nickerack switched. We had them flipped. We got Shameless. Shameless was the easy one. We got Gref. We got a handful of them. Got a couple of them. But GG. No spirit played. Geralt did. We had Wayne and YoungYakov flipped, in a way. I had to hide Gref's identity amongst the cannon rushes. The red Harry. What do you mean? I think chat's catching up with Print F. We were told there were no Americans in this tournament. Oh no. We were lied to. We were deceived. Hatsu was the Decepticon all along. True. The real Decepticon. He was warmed up in the tuna. He was. It was all warmed up. But yeah, Yakov, he played really well. I thought it was Wayne. So I had them in the wrong place. But regardless, GG well played again. A lot of fun here today, going over the Anonymous Cup. Yeah, some really solid play from players like Moja, players like Nickerack, of course. Shout out to BabyMarine showing up earlier as well. GG. Some names out of left field, like Print F. Shaking my head. But with that, we're wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up. Now, we do have another broadcast. We are a little bit late to the RSL qualifier, but we are going to be switching over to the RSL. So we're going to be going over the European qualifier for the Revival StarCraft 2 League. We got you covered. But I do need a couple of moments here to set up all the overlays, and to get everything ready for the rest of the broadcast. For our final broadcast, our third broadcast of the day. So we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have some more StarCraft. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. But here we go. So yeah, we're going to be going on a break. We'll see you guys soon after the break with our next tournament with the RSL. Also, a big shout to MindelVK, big shout to Hatsu as well, for organizing, for adminning, and for hosting the event. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people had so much fun when it came to trying to guess, trying to predict, and yeah, it'll be cool to find out who got the most amount of predictions correct and who actually walks away with some prize money. Hope everyone in the chat did well for themselves. Hope everyone in the chat did well for themselves. And with that, wrapping up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes with the RSL. See you soon.